There is a stillness beneath all your striving, a silence behind every name you've been given. And within that silence, there is a presence that has never once forgotten who you are. You were never lost, dear soul. You are only learning to remember. You have wandered far in search of something that was never absent. You have climbed. You have fallen. You have searched the stars and measured your worth by fleeting shadows. But the sacred truth is this: the light you were looking for has always been inside you, patient and whole. It is the great forgetting that makes us believe we are broken. It is the illusion of separation that gives rise to suffering. The ego, that temporary mask we wear, whispers of inadequacy and need. It tells you that you must do more, become more, possess more. But the soul, that eternal whisper within, gently repeats what it has always known. You are already home. Every time you felt abandoned, you were not alone. Every time you stumbled in the dark, a deeper part of you was watching with love. Like the moon veiled behind clouds, your light never dimmed. Only your awareness of it did. And even that forgetting was not a mistake. It was part of the sacred unfolding. The Tao teaches the way that can be walked is not the true way. And so we chase paths thinking salvation is somewhere else. But you are not a path to be followed. You are the ground itself. You are not becoming. You are being. You are not behind. You are in perfect timing with your own becoming. When the storm howls and the sky cracks, you must remember you are not the storm. You are the sky. The weather changes. The sky remains. You are the space in which life happens. The witness, not the wound. The awareness, not the thought. The presence, not the past. What the world calls failure is often the soul's way of realigning you. What you call a wrong turn is grace dressed in unfamiliar clothing. There is intelligence in the detour. There is sacredness in the breakdown. For it is only when the image of who we thought we should be shatters that the truth of who we are begins to shine. Do not fear the falling apart. Do not resist the shedding. The caterpillar never dies. It transforms. You are not being destroyed. You are being reshaped. Each tear is a baptism. Each heartbreak is a teacher. Each moment of despair is a gateway through which your soul whispers, "Come closer. Come home." You see, you were never asked to be perfect, only present. You were never asked to have all the answers, only to listen not to the noise of the world, but to the soft hum of eternity within your chest. That still voice has never stopped speaking. It calls you not by your title, not by your trauma, not by your achievements, but by your essence. And your essence is divine. Not someday, not when, but now. Now, as you read these words, now in the H in the yearning, now in the quiet in between, there is nothing to become, only something to allow. There is no destination, only presence. This is the sacred paradox. You are both the student and the teacher, the seeker and the sought, the wave in the ocean. And so I say to you, stop waiting. Stop postponing your peace for a time when the conditions are right. The world may never be quiet, but you can become the silence. Your healing does not wait at the top of the mountain. It waits in your willingness to be here, to be real, to be enough without needing to earn it. There is a divine rhythm to everything, and you are not separate from it. The same breath that moves through the trees moves through you. The same intelligence that spins galaxies' lives in your heartbeat. There is no exile, only forgetfulness. Every moment of doubt, every moment of pain was not proof of your disconnection. It was the soul's way of calling you deeper into surrender, into remembrance, into truth. And the truth is this: you were never lost. You were only learning how to see with different eyes. You were learning how to peel away the layers of expectation and return to the raw, radiant beauty of your own being. You don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to strive. Just stop, just breathe, just feel the sacred pulse of life moving through you. That is your guide. That is your home. Let go of the need to explain. Let go of the need to justify your path. You are walking a spiral, not a straight line. And every turn, even the ones that seem backward, are bringing you closer to the center. The soul is not linear. It does not measure time in achievements. It measures time in awareness. And when you become aware, truly aware of the light you carry, of the love that you are, the search ends. Not in fanfare, not in fireworks, but in the holy simplicity of this moment. And then you will see every fall was grace in disguise. Every loss was a form of love. Every silence was filled with sacred music. And you, yes, you were never broken, never forgotten, never unworthy. You were just learning to return, learning to love, learning to be. And now you remember, now you are free. You have not come to this life to conquer it, nor to outsmart it. You have come to merge with it, to soften into the pulse of what already is. There is a wisdom encoded in your surrender that no amount of planning could ever reveal. The soil does not wrestle with the seed. It simply holds it. And so, too, life is holding you even when all you feel is falling. The voice of the world will often tempt you with urgency. It will tell you that time is running out, that your worth is tied to motion, that stillness is stagnation. But your soul knows better. Your soul knows that the deepest transformations never rush. Mountains do not bloom. Oceans do not strive, and the stars do not hurry across the sky. They simply are radiant in their being, faithful in their existence. So be faithful to your own existence, not to the image you show, not to the expectations you carry, but to the essence that never left you, not once, not even in your loneliest hour. That essence is your real self. And when you return to it, when you rest in it, life stops being something to survive and becomes something sacred to feel. There is no virtue in exhaustion. You were not born to burn yourself out, proving your worth. You are not here to validate your place by productivity. You are not a machine. You are a miracle. And the miracle of you can only be witnessed when you slow down enough to be seen not by others, but by your own soul. To awaken does not mean to change the world. It means to change your relationship with it. The tree outside your window is no different today than it was yesterday. But your ability to see it, to notice the way the light plays upon its leaves, to sense the ancient stillness in its roots, that shift is everything. Your life does not need more doing. It needs more seeing the divine, not in grand gestures, but in subtle truths. Seeing yourself not as a problem to be solved, but as a mystery to be experienced. And yes, there will be pain. There will be loss. There will be moments that knock the breath from your lungs and make you forget your own light. But even in those moments, perhaps especially in those moments, you are being offered something sacred. The invitation to meet yourself more deeply than ever before. Not the self who knows what to say, not the self who fits into every room, but the self who aches, the self who weeps, the self who longs not to be understood, but to simply be held in truth. That self is not weak. That self is not broken. That self is the doorway to the divine. You cannot heal what you are unwilling to feel. You cannot rise if you refuse to touch the ground. The lotus grows in the mud. The phoenix is born in flame, and you are forged in the holy fires of being human. This is not a mistake. This is a sacred design. So stop asking why it happened. Stop asking what you did to deserve this, and begin asking, what is this pain here to teach me? What part of me is it trying to restore? Not punish, not diminish, restore. The universe is not cruel. It is precise. And it will keep guiding you through what feels like repetition until you learn to meet it with presence instead of resistance. Not to punish you, but to awaken you. And in that awakening, everything you once feared begins to lose its grip. Not because the fear is gone, but because you are no longer feeding it with your absence. You are here now fully, softly, unapologetically. There is great power in your softness. Do not mistake gentleness for weakness. The ocean, after all, carves canyons through stone, not with force, but with patient surrender. So let your love be relentless in its gentleness. Let your truth be quiet, but unshakable. Let your presence be the answer to every question that once tormented your restless heart. You are not here to explain yourself. You are here to embody yourself. You are not here to escape the pain. You are here to sanctify it by facing it with love. Because what you face with love, you transform. And what you transform, you free. Let yourself be free, even if you don't yet know what freedom feels like. Even if your first step into the unknown feels like falling, trust that the wings you thought were lost will remember how to rise. Trust that the love you thought was gone will begin to stir again in places you once left untouched. Because the soul is not destroyed by silence. It is found there. There is a rhythm to your return, a cadence not heard with the ears, but felt with the spirit. It pulses beneath your resistance, beneath your memories, beneath the layered expectations of who you were told to be. And when you listen not to fix, not to perform, but to truly listen, that rhythm begins to carry you home. Not a home with walls and rooms, but a home made of presence, of peace, of breath. You have searched long enough. You have turned over stones in distant lands, followed maps drawn by others, and measured your worth against imagined destinations. But now you are being asked to put down the compass and become the direction itself. You are not a traveler on the path. You are the path. You are not following the light. You are the source of it. What does it mean to no longer chase your life, but to become it? It means trusting your own unfolding. It means sitting in the uncertainty without rushing to label it. It means understanding that clarity is not something you find. It is what remains when the fog of fear is allowed to pass through unresisted. The Buddha said 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And so it is with your spirit. You may bury it beneath shame. You may silence it beneath logic. You may disguise it beneath masks and roles. But eventually, when the noise becomes too heavy, when the chase becomes too hollow, the truth of who you are rises, not with drama, but with stillness. It rises like dawn, quietly illuminating what was always there. There is no mistake you have made that has disqualified you from your own light. There is no wound you carry that renders you unworthy of grace. In fact, your wounds are sacred. They are the cracks through which the light of consciousness has entered you. They are the altars upon which your awakening was born. Stop trying to heal so you can be worthy. You are already worthy. And from that worthiness, healing naturally flows. Healing is not an outcome. It is a remembrance. A soft return to the self beneath the bruises, a gentle unveiling of what was never broken. You do not need to be seen to be real. You do not need to be understood to be valid. The soul does not clamor for recognition. It is content to simply be. And when you attune yourself to that frequency, you begin to live not from validation, but from vibration. Not from proving, but from radiating. Every breath becomes a prayer. Every moment a meditation. Every interaction an offering, and in this space, something exquisite begins to unfold. You stop reacting and begin responding. You stop fearing endings and begin honoring beginnings. You stop asking life to deliver something new and start allowing yourself to meet life with something ancient, your essence. There is no longer a need to convince the world of your value. When you know your worth, your energy speaks before your words do. When you embody truth, the universe bends toward you, not because it owes you, but because it recognizes you, because alignment is magnetic, because authenticity is irresistible to the rhythm of life. Let yourself be that honest, that open, that undefended, not because it's safe, but because it's true. Truth is your safety, not comfort, not certainty, but truth. The kind that rises from your belly when you stop filtering your soul through someone else's lens. And yes, it will be raw. Yes, it will be vulnerable, but in that rawness and that sacred exposure, you will feel more alive than you ever did when you were hiding. Because hiding may keep you protected, but it also keeps you disconnected. And your soul was not born to be safe. It was born to be free. This freedom, this real soulful freedom is not found in rebellion, but in revelation. It is not about being against anything. It is about being fully for yourself, not the egoic self, but the eternal self, the self that cannot be described in words, only felt in presence. And as you begin to live from that self, as you begin to speak, walk, breathe from that space, you realize something humbling, something breathtaking, that your very existence is a miracle, that your being here right now with all your scars and softness and soul is not a mistake. It is a message. You are the message, not the achievements, not the resume, not the roles you've played or the battles you've won. You just as you are the living evidence of a loving, intelligent universe. So live like it, not in arrogance, but in reverence, not in striving, but in surrender, not in fear, but in fullness, because this moment is holy, this breath is sacred, and this life, this precious, aching, miraculous life is your opportunity to remember the truth that was never lost, only learning. Then let us go further, still deeper into the sanctuary where the soul no longer seeks to be found, but simply to be felt. For you were never meant to live at the surface, never meant to skim the waves of life in pursuit of fleeting treasures. You were meant to dive, to sink into the immeasurable depth of your own being and discover that the treasure was never out at sea. It was the ocean itself, and you were always the water. This remembering is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself with trumpets or demand your attention with chaos. It arrives softly like dusk folding into night. It comes when you finally grow quiet enough to hear what has always been true, that your spirit has never wandered. Only your thoughts did. That your essence was never wounded. Only your story was. And the moment you stop clinging to the story, when you cease identifying as the character and return to the awareness behind the page, something extraordinary happens. The pain begins to soften, not because it has disappeared, but because it no longer defines you. You become the space around the sorrow, the sky around the storm, the silence that does not resist what is, but embraces it into wholeness. Do you see now? You were not failing when you were lost. You were learning what the map could never teach you. You were learning that guidance is not found in the stars alone, but in the stillness within your chest. That wisdom is not passed down from outside you, but rises like steam from the sacred fire burning quietly in your core. And once you feel that fire, once you truly feel it, you will never again search for warmth in the coldness of approval. You will no longer beg for light from others when your own is blazing. But this fire does not roar. It glows, it hums, it whispers your name in a language that no mouth can speak. It calls you not forward or backward, but inward. It says, come closer, come home, come be who you already are. To live from this place is to live from wholeness. It is to walk not as one who is trying to become, but as one who remembers. And in that remembrance, the world no longer holds you captive with its conditions. Because you know the secret, that peace is not found at the end of achievement, but at the beginning of acceptance. That love is not something you earn, but something you are. You are love. You are truth. You are the expression of a sacred intelligence that chose out of all possible moments in time to bring you into this one. And it did not bring you here to doubt your light. It brought you here to embody it. Let yourself be embodied. Let yourself come down from the towers of overthinking and rest in the soil of your own breath. Let your life be less of a performance and more of a prayer. Let your heart be soft again, not because it is unbroken, but because it is unafraid to be broken open. The cracked places, after all, are where the soul sings most clearly, where the divine pours through, where you no longer need to pretend that everything is fine, because you finally realize that everything is already sacred. Even the mess, even the ache, even the longing that has followed you like a shadow. Longing is not your enemy. It is the echo of eternity reminding you that your soul remembers something the world has made you forget, something real, something holy, something whole. You were never meant to silence your longing. You were meant to follow it, not outward, but inward. For it always points back to the place you began, back to the place before the names, before the wounds, before the striving, back to the truth. And the truth is not a concept. It is not a belief. It is a felt presence. It is the ground of being beneath your fears, beneath your ambitions, beneath the ever-turning wheels of desire. It is what remains when all else is surrendered. And when you touch it, when you finally surrender enough to fall into it, you realize that you were never separate, never late, never broken. You were just learning how to remember, learning how to be still enough, honest enough, brave enough to let yourself be seen not by the world, but by your own soul. And when your soul sees itself again, truly sees it, recognizes everything is sacred. Every moment, every breath, every trembling step along the path. Even now, as you read this, something ancient stirs within you. It does not speak in words, but in warmth. It does not convince. It simply invites. You need not be ready. Readiness is an illusion born from fear disguised as caution. You need only be willing to soften, to listen, to allow the armor to crack where the light can enter. For it is not your perfection that will lead you home. It is your presence, your holy human, unguarded presence. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the roles grow too heavy, the mass too suffocating, when the applause of the world feels like static and even the familiar becomes unbearable. This is not a collapse. It is a birthing. This is not an ending. It is an invitation to shed the layers that no longer belong to you, to unlearn the stories that kept you small, to step trembling and whole into the sanctuary of your original self. You are not the person they told you to be. You are not the opinions they gave you, the rules they handed down in fear. You are not the echo of their expectations, nor the mirror of their projections. You are the awareness that noticed that all the witness who never left, the consciousness who saw the costume and longed always for the return to truth. And truth, it does not shout, it does not fight, it waits patiently, like a mountain that has withstood the storms of centuries, unshaken by the winds of opinion. Truth waits until your soul is tired enough of pretending to finally sit down and be still. And in that stillness where no strategy survives, where no image can hold something ancient, emerges a clarity not born of analysis but of surrender, a knowing that has no origin because it is older than time itself. It is the knowing that you are not here to impress but to express. You are not here to get ahead. You are here to get aligned. You are not here to win. You are here to wake up. Wake up to the sacredness in your own breath. Wake up to the miracle of being aware, of being alive, of being love itself wrapped in skin and walking through a world that has forgotten what is real. But you have not forgotten, not truly. You have remembered it in glimpses, in the way your chest tightens when you see something beautiful, in the tears that fall for no reason except that your heart has momentarily remembered its home, in the moments of quiet joy unprovoked by success, in the still hours of night when your soul leans gently against the window of the stars and says, I know you. This knowing is not taught, it is revealed. And everything in your life, every joy and every sorrow has been conspiring to bring you to this revealing. Every closed door, every unexpected turn, every detour that shattered your plans has been a thread in the tapestry of your return. And what you are returning to is not a belief, but a being, not a doctrine, but a deepness, not something outside of you, but the holy pulse within you that speaks not in sentences, but in sensation. The pulse that says, this is it, this moment, this breath, this is where the divine lives. When you touch this space, you no longer need to grasp, you no longer chase, you no longer perform, because nothing can be added to the infinite. And that is what you are. The infinite localized for a while in a form playing a part until the part dissolves, and the infinite expands once more. So do not mourn what you are releasing. The letting go is not lost, it is liberation. The grief you feel is sacred. It is the sound of your soul stretching. It is the music of expansion. And like every sacred rhythm, it will carry you if you let it. Do not resist the music. Dance even if your steps are uncertain, even if your body shakes, even if your heart aches. Dance with the mystery. Dance with the divine. Let life be your partner and the present moment your floor. Because the soul does not require certainty, it requires intimacy. Intimacy with what is, with the breath, with the silence, with the raw, unfiltered now. And in that intimacy, you remember you are not broken, you are blooming. Not behind, but perfectly timed. Not falling apart, but falling into place. This is not the end of your journey. It is the reading of your becoming. You are not standing at the edge, you are standing at the threshold, and thresholds are sacred. They do not ask you to be ready. They ask you to be real. They ask not for perfection, but for presence. They require not certainty, but trust. The kind of trust that knows the ground will rise to meet your foot, even if you cannot yet see it. And so now, dear one, you walk forward, not away from yourself, but deeper into your truth, not into a new identity, but into the timeless essence that was never touched by confusion or fear or failure. That essence that watched patiently while you tried on every mask, every name, every story. That essence that smiled as you wandered, knowing all the while you were not lost. You were only learning how to see with eyes that do not judge, learning how to feel without fleeing, learning how to love without grasping, learning how to stand naked and unadorned and still know yourself as holy. And now you do. Now you remember the sacred isn't coming. It's already here. It's in your breath. It's in the pause between thoughts. It's in the way the sun folds across your face in the morning and in the way your heart continues to beat without asking anything in return. It's in your longing, which was never a weakness, but a compass pointing back to your source. You are the miracle, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are, who you have always been beneath the noise, beneath the proving, beneath the forgetting. Let your soul rest in that remembrance. Let your mind bow to it. Let your body breathe it in like air. This life, this wild, tender, aching life is not a test. It is a temple, and your being is the offering. Your presence is the prayer. You are not here to perform sacredness. You are here to realize you already are it. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a finder. You are not running anymore. You are arriving. You are not waiting anymore. You are awakening. An awakening is not a destination, it is a return to the place you never truly left, the place within that still echoes with a voice of eternity whispering, you are enough, you have always been enough. And so walk forward not as someone chasing the light, but as the light itself, not as someone proving their worth, but as the living proof of love's presence in the world, not as someone trying to be divine, but as divinity embodied, breathing, becoming. Let the old self fall like petals in the wind. Let the illusions dissolve like mist at sunrise. Let your true self rise, not because it is new, but because it is now free to be seen. And if doubt returns, as it sometimes will, do not resist it. Greet it with the same love that now guides your every breath. Let it come, let it pass, for you are no longer the fear, you are the space that holds it. You are no longer the pain. You are the presence in which it softens. You are no longer the wound. You are the wisdom that grew from it. So life lived not in pursuit of meaning, but as the embodiment of it. Life not in search of the sacred, but as the sacred revealed. Live as the answer because you are. And when the world looks at you confused by your calm, softened by your stillness, moved by your presence, do not try to explain. Just smile, because now you know you were never lost.